What if I told you there's a place so cursed, so dangerously silent, that even the wind avoids it after dark? A place where people vanish without a trace, leaving behind only claw marks, melted cameras, and whispers caught on tape. This isn't a movie. This isn't a legend. It's real. Locals won't speak of it. Hikers never return. And those who try to expose it either disappear or go mad. Stay with me, because once you hear what hides in the ridges, you'll never sleep with the lights off again. They call it the demon of the ridges. Once you hear its story, you'll understand why the people who live nearby never say its name. The first recorded incident was in 1872. A group of coal miners vanished in the mountains. Searchers found only flickering lanterns, deep claw marks on the trees. There was a strange feeling that they were being watched. One lantern was still warm. 3 days later, a man from the search team was found in his barn, wide-eyed, muttering something in a language no one recognized. He never spoke again. Over the years, hikers continued to vanish. There were no signs of violence, just eerie remains. A glove soaked in ash, a boot filled with black dirt, a cracked mirror, blood splattered inside the glass. No bodies, no sounds, just silence. Then came Marla in 1994. She was shooting a nature documentary when she captured something on tape. A tall, thin figure in the trees. Its arms were too long, its head tilted, and its eyes glowed faint red. She showed the footage to a park ranger. The next day, she vanished. Her camera was found on the ridge. The footage had been erased, except for that single corrupted frame. Static pulsed around it like something didn't want it to be seen. In 1933, Thomas Avery built a cabin on the ridge. Despite the locals' warnings, he stayed the winter alone. When spring came, he was gone. His journal was nailed to the door. The final line said, "It stands between the trees. It does not blink." No one ever saw him again. In 2007, 3 college students decided to camp there overnight. They documented everything. At 3:17 a.m., the camera began shaking on its own. A voice whispered a name, not one of theirs. That section of the recording melted the hard drive it was stored on. Literally melted. Only one of them, Jake, made it back. But he wasn't the same. He said something had followed him, that he could hear it breathing behind him when he tried to sleep. 2 weeks later, he disappeared from a locked room. No sign of forced entry, just 5 claw marks across the ceiling, like something had been crawling above. Locals believe the ridge is a thinning place, a tear between worlds. And what watches from the other side? They call it the Watcher. It doesn't attack. It doesn't chase. It observes. It waits. It chooses. Once it sees you, you're marked. In 2022, a drone pilot flew over the ridge. 37 minutes in, the feed cut. When recovered, the final shot showed a still clearing. Then, something rose from the ground. Long limbs, no face, just 2 red glowing orbs where eyes should be. The drone crashed. The last frame was pure static. Some believe it grows stronger through attention, that every story shared, every whisper told, gives it more power. You don't have to visit the ridge to be affected. Hearing about it is enough. Once it's in your head, it waits in your thoughts, in your reflections. One podcast crew attempted to do an episode about it. Mid-recording, the host froze. He whispered, "It's in the room." When they played back the audio, there was breathing. Not from the crew. Something else. The next morning, that host was missing. His mic was still on. And then there was Lacey, a TikTok influencer. She went live from the ridge, laughing and mocking the legends. Her stream cut out 23 minutes in. Her phone was found under a tree, still recording. No voices, just slow, rhythmic breathing. Then, scratching, inside the phone case. They say, if you ever feel watched near the ridge, don't turn around. If you do, it sees you fully. And once it sees you, it doesn't forget. Now ask yourself, why do all the stories end in silence? Why are the few survivors never the same? Why do locals warn but never explain? Because the more you know, the closer it gets. And now, it knows you know.